Trying. Hey guys, it says Hake is live, and I see me connecting on Mixer, Periscope, Facebook, dlive.tv, youtube.com/The Hake Report, and of course Twitch is working on it. It is Tuesday, May 26th, 2020, the day after Memorial Day. Hope you had a nice Memorial Day. I'm James Hake. This is The Hake Report. And let's get on, and that feels good, that AC, with this show.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Poor doggy.
I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my
Poor doggy.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, what's up, guys? I am James Hake. As I said, this is the Hake Report, Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. And the video that I just showed you, the clip that I just showed you, was made me laugh the first time I saw it. I was cracking up. The way that the black guy was reacting to her, that's how the people should have reacted to the Me Too movement. Oh yes, please cry rape. I don't care. So, what I just played for you guys was a clip taken maybe around 8 a.m. yesterday morning, Eastern Daylight Time, an hour before the Jesse Lee Peterson show started, presumably, right? Because it starts 9 Eastern. Over in Central Park called the Ramble, a portion of the Central Park called the Ramble. And in this place, you're supposed to have your dog leashed. And this white woman did not have her dog leashed. And so, according to the story, and I'm going to get to more stuff as well, Donald Trump, the most unmanly president, according to some stupid far-left outlet, the Atlantic, a writer, a never-Trumper, a hater. I would love to hear Jesse Lee Peterson interview this guy, Tom Nichols, who wrote this. But anyways, I'm going to get to this Karen at the dog park story, and I'll tell you what a Karen is too. But I also want to get to calls, 888-775-3773, and maybe some other news. But anyways, so this story is being called, I think, Karen at the dog park. And a Karen, I gather, you guys may know better than me. Nick seems to know. Nicole is a meddling white woman. Angry, bossy, etc. Usually liberal. It's a racist and sexist term, right? Because it signals usually a white woman and usually a woman, a female woman. So it was probably made up by blacks. They have all the best slang, right? Is that correct? Did I describe Karen properly? Do you happen to know? Or were you paying attention?
I was looking at the chat.
Okay.
I missed it.
So I said this story is being called Karen at the dog park. I don't even think it's a dog park. But a Karen, I gather, is a meddling white woman. Angry, bossy, usually like liberal.
It makes
Is that
sense.
true?
I haven't heard of it, but
Oh, really?
But blacks,
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a nasty white woman
Yeah.
that like goes after black rappers.
Okay.
It's called like a Becky.
Okay.
So it makes sense that that could be a thing.
They would use the term Karen.
Right.
It's become very popular amongst all races, amongst the people on social media, right? I've seen, what's his name, use the term. The late Nicholas, Jesse Lee Peterson's producer, about that woman who was all mad at the people not socially distancing and wearing their mask at the beach. And she's all, they're not wearing their masks. They're not separated. And so he called her Karen at the beach. Anyways, this black guy, Christian Cooper, on Facebook, is the one who took the cell phone video of this woman. Black guy, age 57, I think, something like that. He's a birder, I guess, meaning he goes out with his binocs and looks at birds in the park. Nerd. And he's like other stuff. He used to be a comic book artist. There he is with his binoculars, looking at the birds in the park. And strong black man, right? So he posted this video on Facebook, his own cell phone video, and wrote this. Central Park this morning. Oh, and I have this little screenshot of his post, of his Facebook post, if people want to read along, if they're watching. Central Park this morning. This woman's dog is tearing through the plantings in the Ramble. Me. So he gives a script. Me. Ma'am, dogs in the Ramble have to be on leash at all times. The sign is right there. Her. The dog runs are closed. He needs exercise. Me. Meaning the black guy. All you have to do is take him on the other side of the drive, outside the Ramble, and you can let him run off the leash all you want. Her. It's too dangerous. Me. Look, if you're going to do what you want, I'm going to do what I want, but you're not going to like it. Her. What's that? Me. To the dog. Come here, puppy. And then she says, he won't let you. And me. We'll see about that. And so this guy says, I pull out my dog treats that I carry just for such intransigence. You know he's a nerd. I guess that means flouting the rules, I'm guessing. I didn't even get a chance to toss any treats to the pooch before Karen scrambled to grab the dog. And he calls her a Karen, all right? It's a racist, sexist term, right? And then she reacts. Imagine this black guy saying, here, doggy, and then pulling out a treat, trying to get the dog away from her. She's like, you don't touch my dog. Don't you touch my dog. And then he says, that's when I started video recording with my iPhone. And when her inner Karen fully emerged and took a dark turn. And then that video comes out and she's all, stop recording me. Please stop recording me. And he's all, please don't come close to me. Stupid, fake polite liberals, right? I'm thinking these two people are both liberals. And then she's all, I'm going to call the police because he won't stop recording her. Well, I mean, calling the police over her recording. I think she's calling the police because he's scared her with the, come here, doggy. Like as if he was going to abduct the dog or, you know, he was making a point. I don't think he was going to abduct the dog. And she still had not leashed the dog. And she overreacted at that point. That's when she overreacted, I'm thinking. This is my speculation and Joelle's. And Joelle says, meanwhile, she's killing the dog while she's calling the cops because she has not leashed it. She has the leash in her hand, but she's holding onto the dog's collar. And she's
like carrying him.
Yeah.
Like as if he's a purse.
Right.
On his collar. He can't breathe.
Uh-huh. It's like a big poodle, like a big, I don't know if it's called a Cocker Spaniel or whatever. And yeah, the dog is like jumping around and twirling and trying to get in a position where he can like breathe. Right. And you hear him going,
right. But she's so panicked, she doesn't even realize what she's doing.
Yeah. And they want to get, you know, the lynch mob is going after this woman, calling her Karen, right? And they want to get her for animal abuse too, animal cruelty, as if she was really trying to do that. She like loves her dog. And is, so he says that he birded his way on out once she leashed her dog. Police came to the area, but she was gone too. No arrests, no citations, no nothing. But, you know, she did make seemingly, I don't know, kind of an exaggerated, false claim by saying, I'm going to tell the police an African-American male is threatening my life. And she works herself up into like hysteria, screaming and being obnoxious. Reminds me of those black women screaming when that black kid that you guys showed on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, this black male is on the ground and police are telling him to get up and the black females are screaming at him not to get up. The police are going to kill you. It's ridiculous. And it reminds me of that, just that hysteria. Makes you go nuts if you have any anger in you, which some of us do, right? And so that's that white woman. And so this black dude posted it, and it went viral on Facebook. And the black dude's sister works in media a little bit, and so she has like a lightweight name to herself. Her name is Melody Cooper. This man's name was Christian Cooper. He's black. Melody Cooper is the black sister. She tweeted it out too. And guess what the Karen's name is? Karen being the white girl, white woman. Her name is Amy Cooper, but no relation that they know of. Maybe she was the slave master back in the day. Just playing. So then the Melody Cooper tweets out this, and I have this screenshot. Oh, when Karens take a walk with their dogs off leash in the famous, she calls it Bramble, but it's Ramble, in New York's Central Park, where it is clearly posted on signs that dogs must be leashed at all times, and someone like my brother, an avid birder, politely asks her to put her dog on the leash. And then she shares the video. And the video, that's where I saw it, was on Twitter. Mike Cernovich tweeted it out. He was on the side of, well, he was saying that the woman was wrong, the white woman, which she was. The dog was off the leash. And I don't think that this guy threatened her life, but she freaked out. She freaked. And so all the lynch mob, being the people on social media, are calling her, I mean, they doxed her, they figured out who it is, somebody that she knows, leaked her name, and she loves this Cocker Spaniel or whatever this dog thing is. And you can see her, she's like a kind of a youngish lady, 30s, 20s, whatever. The dog don't love her no more. But now, well, I mean, she should probably get kind of in trouble, because isn't that bad to be calling the police on such frivolousness? But that's a typical female thing to do. And you know, it's funny because people are claiming, oh, this woman is trying to get this man killed. And you have like conservative guys saying this, including, you know, some conservatives that I kind of like. But that's ridiculous. He's not trying to get him killed because, right, police can just up and kill a black person. A well-behaved black guy like this, liberal, docile, nice, please. So, she's suspended at her job. She's like a insurance portfolio type woman, right? And she may have lost her job. It's pending an investigation. Crazy, huh? What a mess. The lynch mob, calling her racist. And here's some tweets from these liberals who are trying to make this. Yeah, they went crazy. It went viral. Heavy is quoting these people. Elizabeth McLaughlin at the Gaia Project for Women's Leadership tweeted, "White moms, if you are not actively talking to your children about how to be anti-racist, you need to get going. We have always been part of the problem. We have a chance to break that legacy. I am horrified by Amy Cooper and her ilk. And let's not forget, hate is taught." She's the one teaching hate, hatred for white people. They're calling this racism. There's another woman who posted something ridiculous about this story. I'm more riled. I mean, I shared it because it's a funny clip. It is a really funny clip. But then you have these people, another woman named Karen, but this woman is Asian, and she hates Karen jokes and Karen memes, right? She says there's a really excellent sociology paper by Yale professor Elijah Anderson, disgracing the name Elijah, right? Elijah the prophet, on what Central Park woman Amy Cooper tried to do by calling 911 on the black birder. It's called the white space. And that's a sociology term for when the whites are trying to scare the blacks out of their spaces. Karen K. Ho says, this article by Matt Ford doesn't reference the sociology paper, but it struck me how white people at Yale are still utilizing 911 to remind black folks how the university is also a white space. And she references something because Matt Ford shared this dumb another blue check mark on Twitter, said, calling 911, these are the Karen Ho tweets. Karen Ho tweet 2. 911, calling 911 is a magical incantation of sorts. With the push of a button, anyone can summon the state's full might and aid to their side within minutes, and many Americans don't wield that tremendous power wisely. And then Karen goes on and says, the white space, which is a reference to whites trying to defend their space against blacks and POCs, right, was assigned during grad school. She read this paper. And I remember almost crying, this Asian woman says, on the bus to class while reading it. The sociology paper thoughtfully explained so many feelings and experiences I had, but no previous name for. The power imbalance often felt when you are not white. And that's typical of what's the reaction is. They're calling this woman racist, and they're blaming all white people for it, or, whites in general for it. Lastly, this woman, Eliza Orleans, says, this is serious. Happened today in Manhattan. As a public defender for over a decade, I've tried cases where the Manhattan DA uses a hysterical 911 call as a categorical evidence of guilt. Usually there's no video like this to refute it. Isn't that interesting? It reminds me of the stories of these women who call the police on the men and get the men arrested for so-called domestic abuse. They could be lying, but they act like it's true. Crazy, huh? So, what do you think? Was the woman wrong? I think she was wrong. Was the man wrong? I don't know. I think that's kind of sketchy to be like, here, doggy. She doesn't know him from Adam, as Earl from Michigan would say. And this stranger is trying to coax her dog over to him. I mean, she should be leashing the dog, right? But it's just a crazy little story. I just wanted to share that with you. I think that's all. Oh, yeah, by the way, this black guy, he and his sister, right? His sister shared this on social media. They're children of a so-called civil rights fighter who's died now. He died a few years ago. And he said that his father started this so-called civil rights local group wherever he's from. And his father taught him, when something is wrong, don't let it go. Speak up and do something about it. So this guy posted on social media, lynch mob after her. What a mess. But it makes for an interesting story for us, huh? Crazy. But I am going to get to your calls, but real quick, let me tell you a little bit about this. Another example of basically like the loss of manhood, the women out of control, and the beta males out of control. I saw this article by in the Atlantic. Donald Trump, this is the title of the article. Donald Trump, the most unmanly president. This also went around on Twitter. And that's the silly title of the article. Far left outlet, The Atlantic. They hired the black radical Ta-Nehisi Coates, who won't come on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and he's being propped up. He's the one who wrote the case for reparations. So these dumb blacks with their mess, out of control blackness. And he says, why don't the president's supporters, the guy who wrote this book, I call it a book, it's almost a book, it's a long article. I think I read the whole thing, but I had to force myself. But this guy, Tom Nichols, wrote yesterday, Memorial Day, why don't the president's supporters hold him to their own standards of masculinity? And this is coming out of the Atlantic, please. The same Atlantic that hires Ta-Nehisi Coates, son of a Black Panther. By the way, other articles written by this guy, I have a few of these articles screenshotted, just a list of them, his recent pieces. With each briefing, he wrote last month, Trump is making us worse people. He is draining the last reserves of decency among us at a time when we need it most. And that's by Tom Nichols regarding the coronavirus briefings, right? Making us worse people. That's spoken like a true liberal, right? And then he said, this is no way to beat Trump. This is another article by him. This is no way to beat Trump. And he reveals, this is Tom Nichols, the writer of Donald Trump, the Most Unmanly President. He says, I'm a former Republican who will vote for any Democrat, but Iowa, referring to the mess of the Iowa caucuses, has me worried because the Democrats couldn't put together a decent Iowa caucus. They couldn't come up with the proper results. Did Bernie win? Did Biden win? Did somebody else win? Buttigieg was still in the running at that point. It was a mess. But the actual article is just ridiculous. This guy, he makes references to Putin, and he says one of the most cringe-inducing revelations of Trump not being manly is in front of Putin, because Trump just grovels before Putin and kisses up to Putin and does his bidding and listens to the KGB's word rather than his own so-called intelligence agencies. And our intelligence agencies are really anti-Trump, so of course he shouldn't go along with them. And he says that Trump is threatened by strong women. I don't know if he used the term strong women, but threatened by women and threatened by powerful men, especially Putin, right? Stupid. So then he's just being a mess and talking about, he compared Trump to Howard Stern. Oh my gosh. And pretended like Howard Stern is more of a man than Donald Trump. And he references all these things. Oh, men are really supposed to be the strong, silent type. They're not supposed to be bragging. And Trump, you can say that he brags, but he's self-promoting. And he has to self-promote because nobody else will. And that's not a sign of narcissism. The narcissists are the people judging Trump as a narcissist. A narcissist being someone who's like in love with himself, I guess. I guess that's what that it means. I forget exactly. But this guy, Tom Nichols, such a phony. And a never Trumper. I have his Twitter profile. Bunch of pictures of him, too. And he admits, too, that he's not the most manly person. He talks on TV a lot. He writes for Foreign Affairs. He wrote this book called The Death of Expertise, The Campaign Against Established Knowledge and Why It Matters. Meaning, he trusts experts. What a sucker, huh? He goes on MSNBC. He goes on C-SPAN with the question, do you trust experts? In quotation marks. No, I do not. So he's a mess. Oh, and his Twitter profile says he's a professor, of course. Author of The Death of Expertise, curmudgeon cat guy. Yes, he likes cats. Eat it, Dylon. Dylon likes cats too, and he thinks it's manly. Ex-GOP, never Trumper, quote-unquote human scum. This is all from his Twitter profile. Senior advisor to Project Lincoln, whatever that is. Views solely my own. And he's promoting Death of Expertise. He's from Rhode Island. And he has quite a following, 390,000 followers on Twitter. What a sucker. There's a young picture of him. Poor guy. But I would love to hear Jesse Lee Peterson interview him. Maybe I'll invite him on my show if Jesse doesn't. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. He says a lot of mess. Just mess. Talking like, oh, he grew up. This guy is bragging about how he grew up poor and Trump grew up rich, supposedly. And so silly. Anyways, let me get to some calls, and then I'll get to more of this other mess. Speaking of professors are so phony. They act like they're objective and don't have a dog in the fight of politics. Of course they do. They're Democrats, most of them. They're not objective. They're not about truth. And then NBC quotes them and puts their quotes in the headlines. I just want the truth. And it's silly. I'm reacting to some Hake News stuff that I read to you at the end of the first hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And there's this guy who ran as a Democrat and he's supposedly an expert on viral spreading and stuff like that. And he's all, politicians have a very different mindset than or from experts and scientists. I just want the truth, and I don't care who it affects, please. Of course you do. You hate Trump, and you're not about what's right. You're a Democrat. You're not about truth. Democrats aren't about truth, or they wouldn't be Democrats. Or they're just suckers, and they haven't figured it out that the Democrats are not about truth. And he's a professor. He's pretty long gone. Anyways, let me get to, Samuel out of Sweden. Samuel, it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, hi there.
Hey.
Thanks for boosting my video. It's fun.
Yeah. So guys, check out my community tab on my YouTube channel, right? Well, I'm holding up my phone, but on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Hake Report if you're a boomer, or just find it if you're not. I shared Samuel from Sweden's video, and it's a tutorial just released on how to say, okay, I'm going to say it the so-called American way, Greta Thunberg, or I'll say it the German way, Greta Thunberg, or versus the Swedish way, because this Greta Thunberg is Swedish.
Yeah, pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah, and Samuel gave a whole nice tutorial, and it's pretty entertaining too. And it's quite clear how to say Greta Thunberg. And she's the one, Greta Thunberg. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but she's the one who's pushing this climate change hysteria. And, you know, the American band, I think, Pearl Jam, did this music video animated with her being a fortune teller. Isn't that interesting? Nothing to do with science, just trying to predict the future. Anyways.
You know, I thought Greta had vanished now when Corona came, but suddenly she became a Corona expert.
Right.
So I thought, well, now I have to make this video because now Greta is in news again.
Yep. I'm glad you made that video. This is nice.
Now, I want to just give my 2 cents about Ann Coulter, Jeff Sessions.
Yeah. So Ann Coulter went on the attack, just so you guys know, against Trump because Trump bashed Jeff Sessions, his former AG, for recusing himself from the Russia investigation. And Jeff Sessions is trying to run for Senate. He's in a runoff slated to happen in July against Tommy Tuberville, who's maybe a rhino, I don't know, but Trump is endorsing Tommy Tuberville over Jeff Sessions for senator from Alabama. What do you say about Ann Coulter and Jeff Sessions and all that?
I would first of all, Ann Coulter attacked Trump long ago. I mean, there was a falling out. I don't know how, but it was last year anyway, when Trump took away her from his Twitter friendship anyway. But the thing is that I have followed the American news from the beginning, and Jeff Sessions did nothing, as far as I could see, as when he was in the government to protect the border. I mean, it was like he had no power in him. I mean, I just waited for Jeff Sessions to do something, and he didn't do anything as far as I know. And I understand that Trump didn't like a person who didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what I could see when I followed the news. I mean, he even if he did not, investigate, he was still what you call the government position, but he still had that. He could still try to enforce the law at the border, but he seemed to do nothing.
Interesting.
And Coulter, I mean, I stopped in the beginning. I read every single blog post she posted every week.
Yeah.
I think it was every week, and then I just realized that she's not. And I mean, she's about 90% right because, see things as they are, mostly. But I mean, she's like a crazy feminist woman. I mean, she has a really bad attitude. And something I don't hear most people mention at the Republicans is that she does support abortion, but when it comes to rape and things. But I mean,
Oh, right.
she's like,
Yeah.
so there is a, but I see her as a kind of conservative feminist, and she has a really big ego. And I mean, I think that when she, and now this is another thing that I find fascinating, and that's that Trump has always been in control of the Trump train, but all these people and Coulter and even the liberals and everything, they try to control Trump and the Trump train. But, the only thing you can do is to jump aboard the Trump train and follow along. And Trump will always, decide what to do. So and I think it's funny that people don't understand it, that you can't force Trump to do what he doesn't want to do. But
Right.
I do think that he wants to protect the borders, but obviously he spent 90% of all his energy to boost the economy, and now it's collapsed when Corona came.
Yeah.
But,
Interesting. I appreciate that input, man. I think of her as, wow, I hadn't considered that she might be like a conservative version of a feminist, but I hadn't thought of it like that. But I thought of her and so many of the people who are critics of Trump as talkers, writers. That's what she does for a living. It's write and talk, right? And she's a good writer. She's put out a lot of stuff over the decades that's true statements.
yeah,
I don't know if she's helped wake people up. Maybe she has. There's a lot of people who hate her. There's a lot of people who love her. And the people who are on the side of right generally love her, right? But Trump is a man doing a man's job, and I cut him more slack than what she's doing. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I don't know what's in her mind, but
a year now.
Say that again?
And Coulter has hated Trump for 1 year now. I mean, she just
Right.
really disliked
He
him.
unfollowed her, I think, on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than 1 year that she's been the enemy of Trump.
But he read the book Adios America, and that was partly why, I think, or at least he was maybe aware of this issue and he wanted to read the book Adios America. That's her book, one of her recent books, one of her most recent important books, about how immigration is perhaps the major problem facing America, because we're trucking in all these people who vote against America, which is to say Democrat. Yeah, Samuel. Interesting, man. She does seem upset, maybe a little beside herself. Reminds me of Richard Spencer. But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, she's right about that, all the thing about immigration, how
Right.
it will make America democratic.
True.
And I mean, it's the same here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Every single African and Arabic person they bring in, they will be anti-Swedish.
Yeah.
In the sense.
Look at Trump. Look at how Trump talks and deals with challenges and people. He handles stuff right. As you can criticize the people that he hires, yes, you can, definitely, because some of them are the scum of the earth, I think. But the stuff that the way he handles this Tom Nichols guy is so wrong when he calls him the most unmanly president. What does he think, Obama or the Bushes, who are like kiss-ups to their wives and to Michelle Obama, are manly? No. Or Bill Clinton, please.
People think it's manly to cry as a man.
Right,
and
yeah.
Be emotional.
Somebody tweeted, when I retweeted that article, somebody tweeted under me, and I don't remember who it was, but said that this guy is following the woman's definition of what a man is. And that's true. This Tom Nichols guy, ridiculous. I appreciate it. Oh, Samuel, DNYG wants to know if memes are still illegal in Sweden. Memes.
As long as they are true.
As long as they're true, they're illegal. Okay.
There's partially a joke. Well, you can't make memes that in any way portray immigrants as bad persons. Then you will be put in jail.
Crazy. No freedom of speech. And that's what's happening in America.
That's Sweden.
With globalism, the globe doesn't become more free like America is free. The globe becomes more oppressed as the commies and the women and the others like to oppress. Appreciate it, Samuel. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, have a great day.
You as well. Take care. Let me hear from Lucas from Alhambra, California, about this lady with the dog.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to read your super chats, guys. Appreciate them. Go for it, Lucas.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on it because these are the kind of videos where I just like, right when I see them, I just skip over it or I turn it off.
Yeah.
Because there is so many questions that are unanswered that can only be answered by him or her, and you can't trust them. You don't know what happened. He didn't record before. You know, she said he had a bike helmet, but I don't see no bike. You know, and why wouldn't she say he was on a bike? And I don't know. There's so many questions that are unanswered. It's those kind of videos that you just skip and just forget. You know?
Yeah, it's really, you know, Skip and some others were asking, why are we covering this? And it's a fair question. To me, it's funny how she reacted and how she acted and how the black guy took the video and how the poor dog was suffering. And then it's interesting and it gets me going. It gets me a little riled seeing how the lynch mob goes after her.
Yeah, the new trend is clickbait, you know, and
right.
Of course, it's juicy. That's a juicy story that everyone would want to see a Karen, you know.
Yep.
And the new word is Karen, just like Groyper, but now Groyper's gone.
Yeah.
That used to be the trend. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say about it. Is like just everyone just skip over this. This is nothing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Appreciate it, Lucas. Take care, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you too. You have a great day.
You as well. Hang tight, TK and Chris and the rest of you guys. I just really quickly want to read some of these super chats. Jib Jab says, wait for it. Thank you. Hot Computer Smell says, 2 hours of Hake, please. With a side of la la la. Coming soon. Not today. All right? Not today. Joel would choke me like Karen choked that dog. Nah, I'm kidding. Joel is nonviolent. Lin Yan Chin. Message retracted. Lin Yan Chin says, for the Prince of Prance is the son of France. 30%. Joel, he black. And it's a song, but I didn't sing it. Thank you. Danny says, kiss the black guy boots and she keeps her job. Or maybe she still loses it, right? Yeah. Lin Yan Chin says, the man wasn't wrong on what, but in how he did it. His lack of tact reflects emotional constipation of his own, though hers is heavier. Pride, vanity. Yeah. Couple of dumb people arguing. And it went viral. She freaked out on this, on the 911 call. Lord Nikon, I like masks because they show you who the liberals are. Interesting. Joe says, I think Ann Coulter is controlled opposition. Her policy disagreements are overreactions and divisive. Adds to political chaos. Interesting. You know, I've said before that anyone with, and I'm stealing this principle and I don't mind, right? Anybody with, you're going to roll your eyes, but don't roll your eyes. Anyone with anger is controlled opposition because you're not in control of yourself. You're controlled by Satan, right? You're Satan's child. So you're controlled one way or another, whether it's by money or intimidation or approved opposition or conspiracy or non-conspiracy. Just pure human weakness. You're a slave to your vices, all that stuff. Controlled opposition, even if you agree with all the right things. Interesting, huh? That's what I think. DNYG says, Hake, we need that second hour. I know. Adam Davidson gave a super chat, and it says, shout out to Hake from Barbados. Hey, that's cool. Thank you. And real quick, let me read the diamonds. Dark Side of the Bear, what? Says he's really putting us on, referring to this Tom Nichols guy, and I'm going to talk about more of that stuff. Dark Side of the Bear, what? Says Brandon M. said he's cooking fish, Swedish fish. Oh, those are so good. They get stuck in your teeth. Those are the red gummy candy fish things. Oh, and then especially when they're stale, they kind of break from the gas station. You're not supposed to eat too much candy, right? It lowers your immune system. Dark Side of the Bear, what? Says Ann Coulter isn't like a feminist at all. Yeah, somebody said dumbest caller ever. I dispute that. Samuels has his own mind. He's cool. Lin Yan Chin says, so the globe becomes flat Earth? Oh, I mentioned globe at one point. Another one from Adam Davidson, real fast. Shout out from Twitch as well. Hey, nice to see you, Mr. Adam Davidson, on Twitch. That's cool. Okay. Let me get to some calls. TK out of Massachusetts. What's up?
How you doing, sir? How you doing, Mr. Hake?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm great, sir.
Right on.
Mr. Hake, I love my president, Mr. Trump. I really have so much respect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You love him?
Again, I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. It's I was born in 1991. It's my first time ever, I was born in South Africa, just to let you know. I called before and we spoke here, and I was born in South Africa. It's my first time ever, born in 1991, to see a real leader who's really fighting for his country and really fighting, really standing up for manhood. It's one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
But now, here's the thing, Mr. Hake. Maybe you can advise me more, because I believe we're more like peers. We're in the same mentality. You might be even more further than me. The thing, Mr. Hake, is that Trump is a man, and I can tell that, especially from a Republican part, he doesn't really have the full support. It's like he's fighting this war by himself. That's why he had to even mention that the 200 military, he's fighting this war by himself. He has a few people, and the Republican, I don't trust them, because then they had the Congress before when they were investigating Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So my question, Mr. Hank, is that what's going on? Everything is already out there. We have enough evidence. There's beyond reasonable doubt. I studied criminal justice. Everything is out there. Hillary, Mrs. Clinton, or crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Trump. They're guilty. They're guilty. So I'm just wondering. I know. Maybe Mr. Trump is. I know he. That's why he's one of the greatest guys. That's why he's able to accomplish the things he accomplished, because he's way ahead. Maybe he's playing a game. I know he's playing a game too, because he's exposing them. He makes them expose themselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm in this. I'm like, Mr. Trump, man, they should be in jail already. It's out there. This whole 3 years of this Russia was all lies, was a hoax.
Right.
It's like, what's going on, Mr. Hank? Can you make me feel a little bit comfortable and have a little bit, because it's like, I want to believe that maybe he's playing a game with them for them to incriminate themselves, like they've been doing the Democrats. They've been doing that ever since. They exposing themselves. I don't know, but now it came to a point like, Mr. Trump, we know now. We know, sir. These people, they're guilty. The Obama Gate, it's all real. This is not an illusion. This is not fake news. This is real. So I'm just willing to. I know that we haven't been seeing much of them. I just want, maybe you can make me feel a little bit comfortable and because now I don't want to lose hope.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I'm just wondering, Mr. Trump, they should be in jail already.
Yeah.
It's enough now. It's enough. You have enough. There's beyond reasonable, way, way, way beyond reasonable doubt. We wasted 3 years. Russia never existed.
I know.
We never even knew Russia as a powerful. They never even existed.
I think I can help you. I think I can help encourage you.
Yes, please, sir.
That's clear to you, and I mean it's pretty clear to me that Obama and his crew meaning his
We know that.
administration, pulled shenanigans,
We know that.
and that
We know that, Hank.
Hillary has been like a corrupt woman.
Michael Flynn. Look,
but listen to
Michael
this. You know that, and I know that.
Okay,
and
wait. Okay, wait. The FBI, everything, and I was watching even
the FBI.
Gaudi. The Congress, they had the Congress had power. With the Republican had power during the investigation. They didn't. That was our opportunity. There was an opportunity to take. Yes.
But listen.
So now what's going on? Yes, I'm listening.
You know, I don't know if you were paying attention because you were probably pretty young when this was happening. But Obama,
yes.
Obama was very corrupt. He had scandal after scandal after scandal. And then he goes on TV and says, oh, he went through his administration without a scandal, scandal-free. And half the country agrees with him. So half the country is blind and deluded.
But Mr. Hank, that is based on that 90. Remember, they spend more than $200 million to create fake news. Most of those people, that's based on fake news. All that fake media that these people paid more than $200 million just to create these.
But listen, listen, because the world is evil, and you're not following.
No.
But listen.
Yes. We can't give power to evil at this point now, sir. That's what.
But they already have the power. They already have. I mean, that's you can't. It's not as simple. Hold on.
Yes,
Let me explain.
You can't unsee the truth. Yes.
It's not as simple.
Not what's right or wrong.
It's not as simple to overcome evil. It's not as simple and easy to overcome evil as what you're thinking. It is a daily fight. Yeah. And the evil is going to stay in the world, and we're supposed to just continue to overcome it. But Trump is doing his job, and he listen. TK, you keep on trying to talk.
Hank.
Hold on.
No, not trying to. No, Hank, I hear what you're saying.
Hold on.
I know what you're saying. Yes.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes.
Okay. Jeez. You can tell he's African. I think that Africans have a talk. I can tell. You're black?
I was born and raised in South Africa.
Are you black?
America made me who I am. Yes, I'm black. Born and raised in South Africa.
Blacks from Africa. Blacks from Africa are extremely talkative, and they cannot shut up. I'm just telling you. I have three callers that I can think of who are African, and they come to America, right? They speak English.
It's like preachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, again, sir.
So let me tell you.
Yes.
For example, Trump wanted to prosecute Hillary, right? He promised he was going to. He said, let's investigate Hillary or prosecute her, or whatever. His advisor,
that's what it's worth too.
His advisor and all the people working with him said, no, that's not a good idea. We can't do that. It'll look political. And so, the whole establishment.
It will look political, but we're talking about a political party. I'm just saying, it will look political.
The whole establishment would go against him. You would never get away with doing what's right. So that's what's going on. TK, you messed up your phone. Now I can't hear you.
Oh. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
So that's what's going on.
Yes,
it's good versus evil, and half the world is evil, half the world is blind. So you're not gonna get the truth is not gonna come out so clearly to everybody as it does to you and to me and whatever. So that's what's going on.
That's what
so don't be thinking that Trump is in on it and all that mess.
No, Mr. Hank. I respect what you're saying, and I'm already there. I've been there thinking that mentality, but it's coming to a point where it's like we cannot give so much power now to the evil. Like we fighting for good. Like we're fighting for the truth.
Are you giving power to evil?
Right. What you're saying right now is like you're trying to make me understand. It's like.
Have you ever overcome evil?
Yes, sir.
Amongst inside of other people. You've turned them, you've woken them up, you've opened their eyes, and they now see that you're right?
And they reckon, no, not right, that is the truth. Because right or wrong,
that's what I mean.
Needs to be wrong. Yes.
You've awakened a lot of people?
Yes, I've awakened people. Yeah, I've awakened a lot of people based on truth, not right or wrong. Because right or wrong, it creates a middle lane.
All right.
Not to get to the point.
TK, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your concern, but don't sweat it. Don't be worried.
No. Give me. Can you give me something? Maybe something powerful that can make me understand maybe Trump is really, because it's already out there now, sir. It is
I gotta
beyond a
go,
reasonable
TK.
doubt.
I gave it to you, but you're not listening.
It's beyond a reasonable doubt, though. It's a crime and it's beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, I don't know what specifically you're referring to, but thanks, man.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, take care. Let me get to Chris. I thought he was gonna say something different, but because he was acting, because the line was Trump does act unmanly. Wasn't that what it said, Nick? Something like that. Yeah. So I guess he was trying to say that Trump is not overcoming the world and stuff like that. I don't know. Seems to me like a somebody who is looking out from the stands, thinking that looks like it should be so easy. And it reminds me of these people that are saying, "Oh, Trump never intended to build the wall" and stuff like that. So, but he, TK, you talk too much. Let's talk more. Listen. Hey, Chris from Dodge City, Kansas. Chris, how are you?
James, I'm doing good. I think today I'm gonna identify as a black African. Try to talk a little bit more.
All right, go for it.
Or faster or something. Hey, you brought up Ann Coulter. She's a lovely lady. I don't think she'll ever leave Trump's side, but her issue is that immigration.
Right.
And that's all she's been, like, anytime they have a disagreement, that's what she's always hitting on. She wants immigration to be the way it used to be. We didn't have it.
Right.
We didn't have it. And she sees that we have the best chance ever. But
how come it sounds like she's left his side?
It sounds like that. I've watched her. I've kind of watched her over time. It's one of those women do that. It's like it's like how women treat their husbands sometimes.
Yep. They don't trust the husband to handle his business, so they try to meddle and tell him how to do it.
Yeah. Ultimately, they will have his back, but
I definitely cut her slack. I mean, she's been around longer than me, and she's knows what's right, but she does say stuff that isn't true, and I don't know if she's just saying it to exaggerate and be silly. No, but she said that he didn't show compassion during the COVID crisis. I'm like, oh please, come on! Now you're just piling on.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, she tweeted that out. That was in her amongst her 10 tweets against Trump that came out the other day.
It just makes me laugh because she's a master troll,
Right.
And it just kind of makes me laugh. It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
But I was really calling because this video, Karen, and she'll forever be known as Karen now, right? I don't even know her name. I just
Amy
know that
Cooper,
Karen, right?
Amy Cooper, no relation to, and she looks like a nice, pretty lady. But psycho.
But for the rest of her life, she's going to be known as Karen. I mean, it's awful. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know if I feel bad or not, but you just you wouldn't want that for one of your daughters, right?
Right.
But seeing that side to side with this Tom Nichols. Tom Nichols
the writer of the article.
Too. Yeah, the writer of the article. He's a Karen too. You know? And both of them went right to ad hominem. In other words, when they can't argue, a fact, or they have no argument based on facts, they go right to attacking the person, and then they call for civility. You know? And
they're so fake. Ad hominem is perfect. Attack the person. That's a perfectly fair thing to do, in all honesty, because you have to consider, is the person who's saying this stuff a person of truth? You also should consider whether they're telling the truth, because let's say Earl may say something true about me. It's good to accept when he's told me something true, even though he's not a person about truth. At least he doesn't act like one. Of the mess that he says. But
attacking the person and the character of a person is different than an ad hominem.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because the ad hominem is like, I'm going to attack that person because I know that they're right, and I have no
Okay.
argument against them. But I'm still going to do whatever I can to force my will and force what I want, and I'm going to get back at them, and I'm going to take vengeance on them, and I'm going to embarrass them.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
what.
That's
an
what
ad
I love
hominem.
about hearing like Jesse Lee Peterson and Donald Trump is they are not malicious, especially Jesse. I don't know as much. I don't know. I haven't watched Trump up close and personally, I guess. But I see how Jesse Lee Peterson responds to people, and it's not. He doesn't get in these what I call ego battles where he's like what you said, revenge or trying to embarrass them or trying to make them angry. There's people on Twitter who put in their Twitter profile, "You're looking at my profile because you're angry," because they go out and try to make people mad, and then they feel like they got one over on somebody if somebody is mad enough at their dumb tweet to look at their profile. It's great. People are so evil. And that is so typical. An angry person tries to spread the anger on another person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that article by Nichols, what a pile of trash, man! I never seen anything so trashy.
And it's huge. It went on and on and on. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was like 40 pages. It's like reading. It was terrible. But my last thought about that is, all these calls for civility.
Yeah.
And that was his main thrust in his argument, really was, well, Trump is not civil, and so he's not a real man. Guys like that, and this is the left, this is Saul Alinsky, this is the communists, this is the socialists. The main thing at the heart of all of those ideologies and all those ways of thinking is you have to disarm your victims. And that's all that is. Anytime you have somebody like Nichols using those very sophisticated arguments, they were sophisticated arguments, in my view, in the midst of a call for civility.
One thing he said was something that I had seen Matt Walsh say, and Matt Walsh is a conservative guy, right? He wrote for The Blaze, he wrote for Daily Wire, he was an independent blogger at first, and he's very pro-life. He's against abortion, very strong on that. Good guy on that. But he said, and this guy said the same thing, that Trump casts blame on others and doesn't take responsibility himself. I don't know if that's true. He's a make stuff happen type of guy, but he is going to blame people who are to blame. And so it's funny that, like, Matt Walsh claimed that Trump backstabbed the Georgia governor, Kemp. I forget if his name is Kemp, Brian Kemp or something like that. A Republican, pro-Trump guy, decent guy, I think. But he's opening up his stuff now, and Trump is saying, no, that's too early. He opened up too much, more than I wanted him to open up. And
I remember Trump said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fair disagreement. That's not backstabbing, but
no, that was a fair disagreement, especially when Trump has the whole party on his back.
Yeah.
A lot of our COVID-19 response, is because Trump is basically, our president is basically in a position where he's damned. Excuse me, if he's darned if he does, and darned if he doesn't.
Yeah, and then you have these liberal, overprotective, female-minded people that want to just close down stuff. And I don't even believe that this shutting down stuff necessarily stopped the spread of anything, or even if it did, like, it's kind of negligible. It's irrelevant. It's overboard, So
yeah.
Chris.
Well, anybody who tells you who complains about civility, they do that while they have a knife in your back.
Very true. Good point.
It's just about gaining leverage over you. It's rarely ever honest.
Yeah, I appreciate
it's a
that,
real
Chris.
Snaky snake in the grass thing.
Exactly.
You know, Satan was the first one to use
it. It's an atheist thing.
It is. Satan was the first one to use it on God with Eve in the garden, and she taught everybody. And so these guys that do that, these men particularly who do that, they're Karens.
Females. I appreciate it, Chris. Good to hear from you. Take care, man.
Day.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Brandon M says, Matt, America is just an idea, Walsh. Yeah. Nuh-uh. And Willie Palomino says 3 hours of Hake. Thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. Congrats to the treasure chest people. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse's stuff. And RebuildingTheMan.com/stores for t-shirts like these I'm wearing. Oh, the wall going up. In black ink. There's also available in white ink, which you can get on black and other colors and all sorts of different colors. And also, to answer my friend Maria's question, we do have the Hake Report mugs for sale. If you go into the Teespring store, you click on any of the t-shirts, there should also be a mug available for generally for those designs as well. Excuse me. Isn't that nice? TheHakeReport.com, and then look in the menu and look for Teespring. And that'll take you right to the Hake Report Teespring store. Appreciate that. I'll text you back. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.